Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we have our very first look at the Tier 7 Premium German Heavy Cruiser, the Prinz Eugen. So, with that being said, let's look at our commander. We are using Karl von Muller, we have Isiroko Yamamoto, and Norman Scott as our commanders. We are running Beyond Range, Igniter, Punch Through, Fixated, and Fully Packed as our commander, as our perks. We are a level 13 Legendary 2, and if we look at the way we've got our ship kitted out, we've got Aiming System Mod 1, Propulsion Mod, the Concealment System Mod, and we have Main Battery Mod 3. If you look at our loadout, we're running the Community Contributor Flag. And another thing everybody always asks me is, how do you get flags? Flags are available from certain premium packages that you buy, as well as certain events such as the April Fool's duck mode, whatever. But there are certain events that you can get. But it has the permanent camo. We are running the sonar rather than the reload booster. We are also running Catapult Fighter and our repair party. And we are using the Epic booster, so just keep that in mind. Though I'll go ahead and drop this for the moment so that you can see the actual stats. Survivability, 45,000 hit points, 10% torpedo reduction. Artillery, it's got 8 203mm guns in a conventional layout. Two turrets at the front, 2 at the rear. We have 17.4 kilometer firing range with our current build with an 11.4 second reload time. The reload on this isn't amazing, but it's not bad either. It's right there. I want to say it's in second place for the 203s at Tier 7. Like Baltimore, obviously Wichita's number 1. But Baltimore's right there behind Wichita, and I think this comes in third, I guess. And then I think everybody else comes after that with 203s. Anyway, 180 degree turn time is not good at 25.9 seconds. HE shell. And obviously you can change perks and stuff to try to get that better, but this is just the way I have it set up. Doesn't really bother me because I'm used to being a battleship, so the turret traverse doesn't really affect me too much. Maximum HE shell damage 2,500 on the nose with a 16% chance to set fires. AP damage is 6195, which isn't bad. Secondaries, you got 105mm secondaries, you got 12 of them, 6 on either side. They reach out to 5.3 kilometers, which is respectable. And they have a chance to set on fire of 8%. Torpedoes, you do get 6 torpedo, or no, sorry, try that again. You get 12 torpedoes, 6 on either side. That's where I was getting the 6. So you have 6 on the right side, 6 on the left side. Reloads, 68 seconds, which is very good. 180 degree turn time, 6 seconds. So that's, I mean, torpedo tubes take no time to turn. Maximum damage is 13,700. 1.2 kilometer detectability of your torps. 8 kilometer range, which is the big deal that separates this from the Hipper. If you guys know the Hipper and the Prinz Eugen, same class of ships. But this gets better, or at least better range on the torpedoes. So keep that in mind. 60 knot torpedo speed, so not fast torpedoes. Maneuverability, 33.2 knots. Turning circle is not good at 770 meters. To put that into perspective, the Alabama turns in 710 meters. So yeah, definitely not where you want. But if you choose to add steering gears on this instead of propulsion mod, you can get that down a little bit. 9.8 second rudder shift time is not particularly good. Even for a heavy cruiser. Concealment, 11.7 kilometers is not particularly amazing. It's not horrible, but it's not amazing. Detectability by air, 7.4. That is not that great. Guaranteed detection by is always 2. And then detectability in smoke is 8 kilometers. She's tough. She has above average base HP. She's extended sonar. Sonar range and duration is increased. The superior AP damage, above average AP shell damage. Prinz Eugen, one of a series of Admiral Hipper class ships and one of the most powerful heavy cruisers of the 1930s. During World War II, she was equipped with powerful anti-aircraft guns and an enhanced fire control system. She entered service in 1940, and there were 5 of them in the series. Now, one thing I do want to mention before we go take a look at this is the sonar. As you can see, the sonar can detect ships out to 5.5 kilometers. That's the German specialty. The sonar for German ships is better than the sonar on everybody else's ships at detecting other ships. So keep that in mind. So you do have a very nice detection of ships in these. And we're going to get to use that later on. So, let's take a look at this thing. First of all, it's a good looking ship. I mean, I like the camo. It's very nice, tastefully done. I like the camo. And so, yeah, we're going to just take a doozy around real quick. And the other thing that you don't notice about these is the firing angle of the torpedoes are very good because they're mounted midship. So they're actually really good firing angles. So with that being said, let's get to the gameplay. Alrighty, so first of all, this is one of those ships that has historical implications. And as much as everybody's probably pointing to the most notable thing, the Prinz Eugen obviously was part of the 2 ships that were in the fight with the Hood and the Prince of Wales. Prinz Eugen, Bismarck came out victorious in that instance. But Prinz Eugen went on, unlike the Bismarck, to do some pretty ridiculous things. One of those was a daylight stroll through the English Channel. Which is a bit ridiculous when you think about it. It's really not that big of a thing to sail a warship through, and you're doing it in daytime, in wartime, which is pretty ridiculous. Now, she was on her way back to Norwegian waters, and she was torpedoed by a British submarine, which was, let me find it, I missed it. Trident, the British submarine Trident torpedoed it and severely damaged the stern of the ship. So then she was taken to Germany, where she ended up serving as an artillery piece, basically, until the end of the war, where she was then given to the U.S. as a war prize. And what does the U.S. do with a war prize from Germany? Well, we go out and we start nuking it. So we took this as part of Operation Crossroads. We took the Prinz Eugen out to Bikini Atoll. If you guys don't know where that is, then you guys obviously aren't up on your nuclear history. But Operation Crossroads was a series of 2 tests. One was an airdrop, and one was an underwater detonation of a nuclear device. And basically, they were just testing at what distances could ships survive, and how far was the radiation, and so on and so forth. And so, yeah, just a little bit of a background on the ship that you guys may not have noticed. However, Benson has put himself in a terrible position, and we are in position to absolutely wreck his day. Now, obviously, we knew torpedoes would be on their way. Why would a Benson come hauling around the corner like this? He drops smoke, but he doesn't realize that as long as he's inside 5.5 kilometers, his smoke doesn't mean anything. My sonar is going to keep him lit up for a long time. And unlike radar, sonar is long duration. We still got a minute and a half we can keep this guy lit up as long as he's inside 5.5 kilometers, and he's not going to last that long. Even using just my front guns, I'm not the only one shooting at him either. But unfortunately for him, he's about to meet his maker. Go back to Port Sunshine. Down he goes. So, 1 destroyer off the map immediately. We took a bit of a beating getting here, but we had to take this cap. Again, I say it all the time, win your side, but we had to capture this particular base and win our flank. That forces everybody else into a giant cluster and allows us to absolutely wreck them. And don't worry, we're going to absolutely wreck them. We're going to have teammates that are just good enough not to fold immediately, and that's going to allow us to really put the pressure on the Reds. And so, yeah, initially, all I'm doing here is trying to remain in the cap circle without being shot so that we don't keep getting reset. Now, obviously, Bismarck just comes sailing around the corner down there in the center of the map, and So we might as well take some shots at him. Now, we shattered 3 rounds off the side of that ship, which is not preferable. But he goes down. We're about to get rammed by a battleship, unfortunately. So we're going to try to go forward, and it actually helps us in this case. He rams us just far enough forward that we can go around the island nice and comfortably. It's almost like that was planned. But I'm glad it worked out that way, that's for sure. Because it could have went horribly wrong, and God knows what would have happened. When you're up against an island like that, and somebody rams you, physics gets weird in this game. Or just the edge of the map for that. Like, if you just ram somebody at the edge of the map, it just goes all wonky. I've seen some ridiculous clips of people where things just don't go to plan for them. Now, we're up to 22,000 damage. Not a whole lot, but not a bad start to the match. We're doing relatively decent on health. We've got 2/3 of our health left. A little over, maybe 1/4 of our health. We'll just say 1/4 of our health is gone. So 3/4 of our health still remains. We're starting to try to burn down a King George because he's kind of angled really well to us at the moment. So HE is the better option. And then, oh my God, Wichita comes out and just absolutely begs for it. So we fire the HE and then immediately switch to AP. We're also going straight into a bow tanking position for a couple reasons. One, it means that he's not going to be citadeling me if he does switch to AP. And 2, it really does make you a harder target to hit. And so it's just going to help us survive longer in the long run. And because he's beached, he has nowhere to go. He's got torpedoes in front of him, and we're just absolutely farming him from the side. He's just not long for this world, and down he goes. Akatsuki coming through to finish him off with torpedoes. And we have B and A currently, and we're on our way over. We're taking shots at the King George again. We also noticed that there is a Jean Bart directly ahead of us who is getting around the corner of the island, which isn't fair, but, you know, is what it is. So we can't target him. We're going to go ahead and target the shores. Now, we have high explosive loaded initially because, again, I've been fighting battleships, and they're not giving me flat broadsides to shoot at, so HE was loaded. Now, wasn't the best shot there. We got 4 hits total. But this next shot is going to be a little bit better. And then we switch to the AP because, I mean, he's broadside on and just absolutely begging for it as we hit him for another 3,000 damage there with that HE salvo. And, yeah, we're just going to try to take him out. And then we're going to switch back to HE because there's a Jean Bart directly off the bow. And we need to try to get a hold of him as quickly as possible. And anybody who knows anything about the Jean Bart knows that HE is its biggest weakness. And we get an immediate fire on him. Now, we've got to be careful giving him this much broadside because he has very good AP. And we do not want to take a lot of it in the side of our ship. But we are trying to get our torpedoes off. And you can see the torpedoes are fantastic as far as their firing angles. Basically going the entire length of the ship. Like, that's your arc. So, very good torpedo layout for this ship, and I like the ship overall. It's a fun ship to play, but it's not really. It's so utilitarian. It's so good at everything that sometimes you just get caught up in the moments and not sure what you should do, or maybe that's just me. But we're closing the distance. As you can see, we already got the left side torpedoes off as well. Putting those a lot closer to one another, trying to catch him. And it looks like we might catch him with a torpedo here. We're trying to... Yep, there's the torpedo hit right on the bow. Now, he's already used his damage con, so that flooding is going to stick. That's going to be nasty for him. We're going to get flooding damage off of him the entire time. Now, we're being shot by somebody off of our right side, but we don't have time to look at that. We need to continue what we're doing and watch these 2 torpedoes that look like they're going to both hit, and then they both just scrape right on by. I have no idea how those did not hit him. But they didn't, so that's all that matters, right? Well, as we close the distance, we're just going to start shooting up and trying to hit his superstructure and set some fires. Somebody got a fire on him. It wasn't us. And down he goes. We get the flooding kill. And that leaves just 3 ships left. We're at 103,000 damage. A much better result for me here. But we're not done yet. There are 2 very healthy ships out here. Well, 1 very healthy ship and 1 moderately healthy ship. So we're going to be able to get some more damage in this one. And Gneisenau is just sailing broadside on, begging for it. Now, initially I'm firing HE because I want to start the fires. And the ship rewards us by completely missing him. I don't know how it works. But it is German after all, so I guess you are occasionally going to get one of those, just you have no idea why it missed, but it did. And it might have been that he got rammed and those shots fell short. So that could be. I don't know if him and the King George actually rammed each other. So I'll go with that. It's a possibility. But as you can see, we got a fire on the on the Gneisenauer. He puts it out immediately. We get a very good salvo of AP into him. And at these ranges, the AP is disgusting, especially if you're giving him a flat broadside. Battleship or not, this thing is going to hurt you. Now, as you can see, he's firing HE back at us, so I'm just kind of laughing at him. And then I go ahead, throw the torpedoes off the right side of the ship. And that's what I like about the Hipper and the ship in particular, is that the torpedoes just always seem available. Even though we've used them quite a bit and we've only gotten one hit this entire match, they're always there. It just seems like you always have torpedoes. They're always in the perfect place to actually use them. So it's kind of nice in that sense. But we get another good hit on the Gneisenauer and narrowly avoid his torpedo. A little bit lucky there that we weren't really paying attention. But we're going to go ahead and try to go broadside here and see if we can't finish off this King George. We've had a pretty good game. We're up to 127,000 damage now. The King George is not long for this world. We do bounce off of him there. But I wanted to fire the AP just in case. We tried to go for the superstructure. Didn't quite work out for us. And then we switched to the HE. And can we finish him off? Now, you notice that the destroyer lit up very briefly. We do get a fire, and that's going to be the kill. Oh, no, it isn't. It's got me. That's just robbery right there. Iowa manages to finish him off. He DC'd right at the end. He literally damage conned with no health left. Come on. Come on, man. How you gonna do me dirty like that? But we're up to 129,000 damage. The Moss is full health. There is a full health Moss out here. We know he was directly over the bow of the ship. He just killed our battleship that was on the left side, which, I mean, that battleship was behind the island for the entire game. I don't know. He kind of deserved what he got. But we're pushing up. We're going to try to get rid of this Moss. First shot out, and we knock out his propulsion and his torpedo tubes, one of them. So that resets his torpedo reload right there, guaranteed. He DCs it because, I mean, obviously he has to DC that. But then he pops his smoke and keeps sailing full speed ahead, which is not helping him disappear at all. Our Akatsuki is in a perfect place to actually spot him, and we are just not missing. And now we knock out his torpedoes and his propulsion again. Here's the first salvo of torpedoes that he was able to launch at us, and no chance. I mean, he's firing in wide salvos. We knock out his torps again, and because we knocked out his engine the second time, even though he has the ability to keep moving, his engine power is reduced, and that's going to cause him to get caught by that torpedo and finished off as we get 2 fires on our last salvo. But I think we had a pretty good game, and if you like the history, let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'll do it some more and see what you guys think. So, what do we end up with, guys? Well, as you can see, I'm not doing very good at trying to get the Roma. I'll probably end up having to buy the rest of them. But 139,000 damage done with 150 main battery hits. We were at the front of the team the entire time. We weren't hiding. We were taking it to them. 3,200 base XP. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you in the next video.